it's me, Renee. I'm back, and this is a little bit overdue of an update slash kind of in general talk about Eurovisionathon, and yeah, a bit on Eurovisionathon. Did I just say that? Yeah, like I'm going to talk about my thoughts on Eurovision, but also Eurovisionathon, how it's gone so far, and yeah, let me just get into it. Also, as usual, I don't really have a plan. I don't really like to map out my videos, as you might know. But yeah, let's start. So I've read a few books so far. I haven't read tons, but it's a month long readathon. But like I don't know, lately I've becoming less stressed about like reading all the books for readathons or like all the books on sale. Like if I one day just want to watch TV or just end up reading 2 pages, I'm not gonna be mad about it. I mean, some days that's how you feel. And yeah. So yeah, as I said, let's start. So first, uh, one of the books I finished is Euovisionathon, Historiska händelser, dag för dag. I'm not. Let me just double check. I'm not quite sure if this is like translated or if it's. Yeah, no, actually, it's kind of written in Norway, or written in Norway. It's a non-fiction, so it's non-fiction of like it's like it goes through the whole year, and then it's just like people who were born, people who died. If the this and this like it's mentioned the day that First World War started, like Frans Ferdinand was killed, all those stuff. Often it's just kind of like name was born, name died. So that's kind of slightly uninterestingly. Really, like I love the facts I already knew, and a lot of them like, okay, I don't really care if you just give me your name. It's not that interesting. Often facts are more interesting in context, really, when instead of you just give me the facts without anything else around them. And well, I suppose sorry. This is like about the whole world, so things going on around the whole world. Well, though it's mostly Europe and America centric. But yeah, sorry. So I suppose I could use this for a lot of the Eurovision countries. And well, yeah, going back to my overall impression of the book, I love the things I already knew. Things I didn't really knew weren't really presented that interesting, and some of them are like, I don't care. So I felt like in a way, like as I said, also like sometimes it's just kind of like sometimes it's one sentence here, and sometimes it's a whole paragraph. And that's cool, but like, why couldn't you have a whole paragraph with all the stuff? I suppose then it would be a very thick book still. And yeah, honestly, like, it's kind of so slightly interesting. Like, if you would just, I suppose it could be interesting book to just kind of pick up and read every day or like every now and then because it's not bad. But I think like if you want something that kind of gives you slight insight or like just quick overview of stuff, I think this is a better book than this one. But yeah, I have read it, have finished it. So as I said, it mentions a lot of countries, so I can go with another one for this one. So yes, there's not really specific rules for like it has to be so much about that country. So I don't really have anything like specific around that really. I don't really have anything more to say about this one. And then we have a book I actually just finished yesterday. Yesterday. MGP of Magnahovn. So I did talk about this in CBR, but yeah, so this MGP is Norwegian for Eurovisionathon. Oh, sorry, Eurovision. Eurovision. In Norwegian, it's Melodi Grand Prix. So yeah, usually you just say MGP. So this is a fiction book based around a band who wants to win Eurovision, not just the Norwegian version, but they want to win the whole shebang. And but like most of these characters, they're in their 40s, 50s. They're kind of like has-beens. They're very talented, but they have kind of been down with luck. Every one of them, and because they really want to win, they do some questionable stuff. And yeah, I would say it's kind of like an interesting, funny look at behind the scenes of Eurovision and the things go around Eurovision and people's lives and stuff like that. First, I like the beginning 50 pages was like, it's not that good. But then we really things really started to pick up after that, and they were like, oh, interesting, fun. Yeah, that was it's kind of a bit of a romp, really. It's just very comedic and fun. I wouldn't really say it's action packed in the way that things happen. It's not like danger like in the book. It's not like there's a mystery in the book, really. Though there's different conflicts, of course. And there's not very much romance in it, although there's slightly romance here and there. So I would say like this book, pick it up if you want a good fun read. Though then again, yeah, it is a Norwegian book, and I'm not sure if it's been translated to any language, like even Swedish or Danish. I don't really know. I would say, um, controversially, I like this story. Yeah, I would say I liked it more than Eurovisionathon, the Fire Saga, like the movie that came out last year. I enjoyed that movie. But I was a bit let down. This one I felt like was cooler in some ways. Yeah, also kind of funny. Want to mention it? Like when I participate in a Norwegian final, that you have like lots of different cameos by Norwegian by Norwegian singers and celebrities. So that's very cool. So like see how they're woven in the plot and how that works. And then the international final, it's Carola is also participating, so you have her, and so that's quite fun to have her in the mix, really. And also, so yeah, I suppose as opposed to countries, I suppose you could go for Norway because the beginning is very much set in Norway. It's a Norwegian author, etc., etc. Most of the characters are Norwegian. You could also go for Ireland because the international final is set in Ireland here, and you could actually also go for Albania because there's kind of a Albania aspects in here. That's yeah, I suppose in a way it's kind of from the get go. And I won't really say that much more because it's kind of fun to leave you in the dark. Though again, I don't think this exists in other languages, so it's gonna make just kind of talking about a book you can't read. Sometimes I feel so mean talking about Norwegian books because a lot of them aren't really translated. Well, I suppose some of them are, and mostly I read English, but like sometimes I go, it was a cool book, and then oh, cool, where can I find it? It's not out in English. So yeah, sorry. And yeah, then we have the Netherlands in a nutshell. But highlights from the Dutch history and culture. It's a non-fiction book, kind of published by Amsterdam University Press, and it's also kind of the main person behind it is like the editor is called blah blah blah. For the had an editor. Give me a moment. It's not that guy. Okay, anyway, I found it like there was a name of the editor someplace in like the Goodreads or something like somewhere specific. But like anyway, it's not like it's an author because it's non-fiction and they collect different stuff, but like to like mix it all. And yeah, so it's both story of like different people, like Rembrandt, and like okay, so the deal is you have like 2 pages and you have pictures and then you have a quick overview of the stuff. There's both persons and there's also accents, I must say. Also events like that happen, like when the Second World War, how that affected the Netherlands and etc. etc. And there's also like the how the Romance went around in Netherlands, and yeah, it's just, so it goes around from the very beginning to like modern day, more or less. And yeah, it was just an interesting, quick read, really. Interesting non-fiction read, an overlook at the Netherlands. So if you want to read Netherlands during Eurovisionathon, if you want to read more about Netherlands, check this one out. Definitely recommend it. And it's also quick read, but yeah, it's just about 170 pages, so not long at all. So yeah. And then we have, forgot. I'm just gonna give me a moment. So in case, in addition to, if you see my outfits, I have a bit of a colorful, bit of a fancy t-shirt with dots on it, and then I have 2 scarves because Eurovision is kind of like colorful and lots of costumes. That's kind of for this video. I also bought Kinderbano, which is actually German. You might think it's Spanish, but it's German. Kinder, like the brand Kinder is German chocolate. Quick Lunch is Norwegian chocolate, and then Toblerone, which is Switzerland. And yeah, because of Eurovision, I felt like I'll add this to the video. Maybe I'll eat some of them. Now when I'm filming it, I'm just kind of, at the moment of filming, I just brush my teeth because, yeah, so I probably won't eat them, but they're cool to have in the background, and they're still here. And if in case you haven't tasted any of these, try them out. They're great. And this one you can get at IKEA. Also, you can get it out of Norwegian chocolates at IKEA, so check it out. But yeah, and that's that. All mentioning there really. And then we have Tankespinneren of Vibeke Køhler. So this, as you see, is another Norwegian book. I have read a few Norwegian books, though as I said, one of the ones that I talked about earlier, NGP, can be used for other countries as well. But this one, most of the plot takes place in Norway, but there's a bit of a setting at the end in China. But still, that's not Europe, so Eurovisionathon related, so can't really suppose. I think this is probably gonna go the one I'm going to use for Norway. Also, it's quite long, longish. It's 350 pages, so yeah. Yeah, it's actually an ARC copy, as you can see there. I got it from work. It's a new Norwegian middle grade. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a series, but I haven't really seen anywhere where it says when the second book is coming out. But I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be a series. But yeah, so this book, it starts with the protagonist having to live with her grandparents because her parents are always moving around, and this time they said like, yeah, you're gonna have to live with your grandparents for some time because we can't take you with us this time. So first she's like, I want to go with you, parents, but she likes her grandparents, so it's kind of fine. And then soon her grandparents are going around whispering and stuff. I'm pretty sure you discover that there's this big hidden world of magic happen like behind this ordinary world. So like it's urban fantasy. So yeah, it's an urban fantasy. So it's set in Norway around Bergen actually, but there's also like hidden society of magical aspects to it. So pretty quickly, they start again a magical school because they kind of need, because stuff is happening in the background and there's danger on the look, there's danger around, and yeah, and also like kind of like the idea behind this is kind of like the when you knit some like knitting pins, and when you crochet, no, like other. That's wrong. Like when you knit and when you sew and like when you do like handwork, like for hobby stuff, that stuff that's kind of magical. So you can maybe like you can knit a magical shoe, you can knit a magical sweater that'll make you warm until like in Antarctica and stuff like that. So the concept of it is very cool. I would say it's very cool. And here and there, it's kind of like sometimes the protagonist gets a bit bullied in the beginning. It's like, oh, so it's so it's so words. It's very tender in a way, like, oh my god, you can't be bullied. It's just mean being bullied, and it's just so sad. But mostly, this book was fine. Like, I like that there were unique aspects with like the magic aspect of it. But for most part, it's kind of like been there, done that. Though I do think, like, if you're 10, 11, 12, if you haven't read that many books, like, if you haven't read that many magical school books or magical society books, you probably will like this one. I'm not sure how much it's sold or, like, talked about so far in Norway. It came out in April, and I don't think it's been, like, sold that much. But sometimes it takes time. And, yeah, I don't have that much more to say, really. It's an interesting read. Not perfect for me, but it wasn't awful. So yeah. Then we have, well, I suppose this one I read quickly, but like the beginning in the early parts of Eurovisionathon, there was also Juniathon, and then I read Desire and the Deep Blue Sea by Olivia Jade. So this book takes place in the Caribbean mostly, but like in the beginning it takes place in the US, and then it takes place in Caribbean. So I think like, well, what does that have to do with Eurovision? Well, the I will say sorry. The author at this point of time is at this point in time is living in I was about to say Eurovision. He's living in Sweden, and that's a country in Europe that participates in Eurovision. And she has a Swedish husband, so I think that can work in that way. So I suppose I might include this one. It's not a big book, but yeah, I might include it. And yeah, anyway, I just kind of want to talk about it a bit. It's a delightful read. It's a novella. It's not huge. It's under 200 pages. And it's a love story. And it's just delightful. And cinnamon roll cinnamon roll love interest. And it's, yeah, so delightful. So delightful. I just, so good. Then we have Gunnar. How I became the mayor of a large city in Iceland, and changed the world, like Jon Gunnar. So, in case I suppose maybe you know, maybe you didn't know, but like in 2009, where everyone in all the world were like things were going to shit because of the financial crisis, Greece went bankrupt as well as Iceland, and in 2010, Jon Gunnar actually became the mayor of Reykjavik, which is actually the biggest city in Iceland. I didn't know before reading this book. And he actually used to be a comedian. So that kind of like fun where you have someone not really being a politician and then becoming a politician, or like doing a politician's job. And so this is his biography around. It's published in 2012, so it's just kind of very much at the beginning of that time. It takes place like it talks about his childhood, about how he decided to become a politician, and how it is being a politician. And then also like from the beginning, because the forward talks like how he just ends up being a mayor for one term, not two, because he kind of wants to do this not permanently. But still, he has a lot of interesting ideas. If you want to learn about Iceland, there's a lot of things I didn't really know about Iceland, so that was uh, informational. That was I'll learn about Iceland by reading this book. It was also entertaining, and yeah, it's just a great, fun little read. It's just kind of like 200 pages. It's actually like 170 pages, so not long at all. And like it's a mix of like him, how you say like indexed. It's a mix of him being interviewed, a mix of him kind of writing stuff, a mix of other people being interviewed around him, and yeah, it's kind of mixed stuff. the most parts of this kind of like the chapters or the parts kind of like maximum 5 pages, so just very easily read, really. And yeah, of course, this is going to count for Iceland. And yeah, this one I liked it very much, enjoyed very much. It's just a great read. Informational. I think I'm thinking about another word, but I'm backing out. But yeah, I learned a lot, but also delightful and entertaining. And yeah, and also sorry, I've also listened to a few audiobooks. I've listened to actually two of the backing out. Sorry, 39 Clues series. So the 39 Clues is a series that's kind of like a publisher thingy where like it's a whole long series, but each book it's written by a different author, so it's kind of more like the publishers like they talk about the ideas and then the different authors write their plot for the book and stuff. And yeah, so the first book is written by Rick Riordan. The second book is written by I'm blacking out. But yeah, anyway, I read those two. The first book takes place in first it's in the US, and then they go to Paris, and then they also go to Salzburg in Vienna. So I suppose, and they're I would say like more or less they're in all places pretty much equal. So I suppose they could go with any one of those places for Eurovision. And then in the second book, it takes place in Austria, as well as Italy, as well as no, maybe it's just Austria, Italy. I think it's someplace else. Might be wrong here. I'll double check. I enjoyed those audiobooks. Like both of those. First one is 7 hours. Second one is 4 hours. So it's not like a long audiobook to listen to really. It's not like a long overdoing really. But yeah, I enjoyed it. But like the main. Okay, so the concept of the series is that so this old woman she died, and because after she died, she's kind of like said in her testament that she wants to like give all her relatives not Easter hunt, kind of like a hunt, not Easter hunt, like out, but like like where you look for clues everywhere and stuff. Okay, yeah. So they go for a hunt to look for clues, and at the end of the big to do, there'll be the most powerful person in history in the world. So that's quite an end goal, really. So a lot of people in the family decide to like go on this hunt, but because of the goal is so big, there's a lot of people doing a lot of sabotage. And like, so the main characters are two siblings, at 11 and 14, and like everyone participating are their family, like their fourth, fifth, sixth cousins, but they're still family, extended family. And they're often being threatened and like almost dying because they like their family wants them to like wants the competition to be out of the way. So it's quite a bit of a quite a bit drastic, I would say, in a way. Like this family, it's quite crazy. Just power hungry deluxe. Other than that, it's kind of like fun to like listen to where they go and how the clues fit and all that stuff. And it's definitely a series I'll continue it. Though, yeah, something is kind of like, why are you trying to kill this 11-year-old? He doesn't even know that much. But everyone thinks everyone knows much more than I do, and yeah, it's maybe a bit barbaric at times, really. And yeah, also have you listened to more audiobooks? Been blanking out. Also been doing for a long time now. Uh, yeah, I also listened to finished The Murder of Roger Ackroyd in the same first weekend of Eurovisionathon, which takes place in England, also by English author. So pretty sure I might do that for England, but for England I might do other stuff as well. Not sure. And yeah, that's how it is really. And I hope you enjoyed this little update. I do know thought I will talk about a bit more about my Eurovision thoughts. You know what? I might do that. Just give me a little moment. Yeah, I said to I said I'd do a little bit more talking really. And yeah, my Eurovision and now it's gonna be a bit more like about Eurovision in general, not Eurovisionathon, but like my Eurovision thoughts. Eurovision for me, like lately anyway, it's kind of been a neutral thing. It's gonna be a thing that I've been watching like when it's on. I haven't really always been like that, like that into it. Like a lot of time lately, at least last few years, you can listen to songs from the beginning of the year really. I haven't really done that so much really. Like I've had like sometimes I might watch the semifinals. More often not, I'll just watch the final, like the final of the Norwegian one, the final of the Eurovision of the Eurovision. Uh, I do, I want to say, I do have some thoughts like at least Norway, like when like when the Eurovisionathon, well, the Norwegian finals, they are run at the Norwegian broadcasting system, like the main national broadcasting channel. I think that's maybe common everywhere, but anyway, that's how it is in Norway anyway. And so, a few months before the whole to do starts, they announce like these people are participating. So you know who's participating from very early on, and you also know like names of the songs early on, but you can't listen to a song before a bit closer. And like when the song is announced, well, when the singers are announced, I'm like, oh, curious, who's there this year? So I'm like, I suppose I'm like, maybe I'm not disinterested in Eurovisionathon, but I'm not over the moon of it. But maybe in a way, this year's kind of maybe a bit more like because of Eurovisionathon, I kind of wanted to get more into it, so I'll listen to more of the songs. I've been a bit more like into the whole thing in a way. And yeah, I do want to say also like memories for myself. I want to say that I think one of my first memories was the one that won in Norway in 2000 and I think maybe like 2 or 3 around there really. And there was this guy sitting at the piano, just kind of like playing. So it wasn't a ballad. Well, how do you define a ballad? It wasn't a big huge ballad. I suppose it was more like a love song, like he was sitting at a piano and singing. And he was singing about like our name of the song. Love Me Again? No. Anyways, it was this very touching, very nice love song really. And yeah, it kind of went to my heart. I've always been a bit of softie really. So I very much enjoyed that one. And then for a few years I don't really have that much that many like specific moments that I love from Eurovision. Like from like 2002 to like 2009 I was like most of these songs are fine, interesting enough. And then in 2012 I want to say, maybe 7, I think it was 12. Anyway, it was a year that a Norwegian singer, like it was as with most places in Eurovision, people participate who are established. People also participate who are newcomers. And this one year, established singer participated, and her song was "Hold On, Be Strong," and it was all about how you can be single for a long time, but you're still important even though you're single, and you'll find someone, the one for you. Just hold on and just don't worry. I mean, right now you're lonely, but you'll find someone. You'll find someone in time. And with me being more or less always single, and like a lot, sometimes I'm kind of like, I want a boyfriend or like a partner. Sometimes it's been a bit more like it's been a bit more difficult than other times. So listening to that song kind of gave me it really related to me. It really spoke to something in me, and yeah, I loved it very much. Also, the singer is just very good, just amazing, amazing singer. So yeah, and um, and then also, of course, you have to talk about Conchita Wurst singing "Rise Like a Phoenix." That song, amazing. That singing voice, just heavenly, and also that costume, that everything. A guy with a beard, but also doing a ballad in a dress. It was just so the whole package was just so amazing. And yeah, I would definitely say that's one of my highlights of Eurovision. Uh, Also, other than that, I want to say I very much like Fairytale by Reebok. I think that's just a very cool song. It's just kind of very upbeat and just very fun. Like it supposed, yeah, it includes violins. Like have it's a bit too much to use like cultural folk culture stuff, but like with that song, it kind of works. So it's very cool. So yeah, I very much like Fairytale by Reebok, and then I kind of actually gonna skip on to like this year. So like this year, I was like very focused. Like I looked at all the semifinals in Norway. I looked at all the it's been a show also like about talking about the international songs, the other countries' Eurovision songs. So also we watched that. But yeah, so while watching the finals in Norway, I had uh, what's the call name again? Favorites, and I gotta say, Six, he wasn't on the list really. Uh, yeah, end up eating a bit. And I would say this is for two reasons mainly. One, Six, he like for most part yeah, he's been singing the song in Norwegian. He decided to switch and sing the song in English in like the last time, like in the last final. But like for most part, it's written in song in Norwegian. And like they thought first like that's how it's going to go. Like no, he's doing it in English. I'm like cool. So like for me, the version in English, no, in Norwegian, yeah, kind of doesn't really work that much as the English version because it's just kind of uh, a bit too over top, but like the English version kind of still fits. Like it's not over the top, but it's over the top. So kind of it's not so big that it just kind of goes way too far, but it goes far enough. But also kind of also in general, like first times I heard the song was kind of like this song, even in English, it's kind of a bit too much. It's kind of eh. Well, then again, I suppose you can ask me, well, what would you have wanted to what would you have wanted to win instead of Six? First I was kind of like, all the songs were fine, they weren't, and that was amazing. But then lately kind of thinking that there's this band, Stavanger coming up now, which were in the finals. They also did like first the song they did in Norwegian, and then at the end switched up to do it in English. But that song is just kind of I really like the message of it, and I really like the vocals, and it's just kind of also like very cool how the band it's not a band, it's a group. There are four people. They're between like 40 and 50, and so it's just so cool to like have a boy band because they're all males, but neither of them are in the 20s or like teens. So it's kind of fun to have an older boy band, and also yeah, their singing voices together fits very much. And yeah, in a way, I think that song could have been very cool to have in to have represent Norway. I think that would be very cool. Also, Rayleigh, she had a song called Hero, which is just very 80s based, and it's just yeah, I like that one very much. I think that's cool, also a very cool song to have in the final to represent us. But uh, 6-1, and honestly, like in the beginning, I was like, I'm not sure I like it, but now like, yeah, Fallen Angel, it's grown on me. I don't think it's that bad that you won now, and yeah, I like it now. I like it. I like it much more now than before, really. As I said. And yeah, that's this update on Eurovision talk video finished. And yeah, if you have any Eurovision memories, if you have any thoughts at all, just let me know. Bye.